places with a victory. Jonathan Pearce, watch this one.
And a difficult one to take. Before this game, we had 2 wins in a row in 2 big games at home. First half was very good again. Unfortunately for us, the second half was not, and we lost the game. So it's difficult when you lose a derby and all that stuff. Difficult moment for the players right now in the dressing room. But from next Tuesday, we have to react again and work hard again to go for the next game.
I know that probably from outside sometimes looks more easy, but when it's a game that it's a must-win game, they played yesterday. They all won yesterday. So for us, has to be the game, and you are 1-0 down. It's not easy for the players, especially for this squad. But second half, I think we continued the way we are since day one.
I think the fans, they don't have the notion of the part that they do for the club, and with the environment that we had on the stadium, like against Tottenham today, at the end of the game is what we need from them, because they are wonderful. They let's be honest, they play a big part from the team. Of course, we on the pitch sometimes we understand they are upset with us, but what we need is them to back us up, because with them we are stronger. So it's what we did today. We won the game in a difficult place against a difficult team, and we are really happy.
Well, they were 2 very differing halves for Chelsea, weren't they?
They were very different halves, and they were really struggling in forward positions, Chelsea. I mean, when you consider Cole Palmer hasn't scored in 16, Nicholas Jackson hasn't scored in 13, and it just wasn't working for them again today for whatever reason. I mean, they lost the ball far too easily. They weren't really a threat in front of goal. If Jackson makes a run there towards the penalty spot, makes it so much easier for Cucurella to put that ball in there, and different options. They has to pass it backwards, and then Palmer loses it again, and then Fulham are on the attack, and it happened so many times. When the ball goes up there, that has to stick. That can't go under your foot like that as a forward, because everything else breaks down. And I really haven't got a clue what he's trying to do here. He has got options, but I'm not sure he knows what he's doing actually as well. And when he gets into that position, that's basically not good enough. Same thing again into Palmer. Again, he loses the ball, so everything was breaking down. And the manager makes a change. He brings young Tyreek George on, 19-year-old, and all of a sudden, that changes the game. Because this finish is so instinctive, it really is, and it wasn't going to happen with those other 2 on the pitch. That is such a clever finish. No nonsense, doesn't think about it, just outside the box, hit it into the corner, and Chelsea are a different team. And Neto, who was probably their best player, he was the only threat really that was pushing. If you thought that was a good finish from George, then have a look at that one. The touch, the swivel, and then the power he gets on it. Keeper's got no chance. So with 10 minutes to go, they're in the mire, Chelsea, and then all of a sudden, Tyreek George comes on and changes it. Then they get the winning goal, and that is a huge 3 points for Chelsea.
Is that a difference in confidence, do you think, without actually talking to Palmer or Jackson? You've got 2 players there who are struggling a bit for form and therefore aren't doing things instinctively, but those other 2 are, aren't they?
Well, you see different players when things are going really well for you, just do it without even thinking. When you're not, and you're going on a barren run, you're not scoring, your touches, all of a sudden life's different, football's different, and you start thinking about things. Nothing's natural anymore, and you can see that's exactly what's happening with those 2, particularly Palmer.
The race for the top 5 now for the Champions League places is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, to be honest, this graphic may be a bit much if you've had a long Easter Sunday lunch. I'm sober and it's hurting my head. So, but they're all their remaining fixtures. This is where they're at. The ones in grey are the games against teams who are also in the race for the top 7.
Chelsea's got the toughest run in, do you think?
Yeah, I think that Forest-Chelsea game at the end of the season could be an interesting one, but you just don't know, because with the cup games, and you don't know who's going to be, fighting for what. I think Manchester City will feel quite confident looking at that, and your boys Newcastle will probably feel good about it. I think Chelsea probably have the most difficult.
Do you think, with obviously 3 of those 5 are in FA Cup semi-final action, City and Forest and Villa, that will play a part?
Yeah, well, listen, it's as important to get in the Champions League, but, it depends what the manager is prioritising. It's also nice to pick up a trophy. If you can do both, then great, that's what they'll be trying to do. But it just depends what teams are playing for. Not to say they're not going to try as hard, but if they're not playing for nothing, they're not probably. It's going to be an easier game, obviously.
It's hard enough to predict results anyway, but at this stage of the season, it's almost impossible. But my guess will be because I know that's what's coming next, and you're going to ask that.
Oh,
well,
do you
who's
know
the
what
three that's
I was
gonna
actually
qualify?
going to say? I was actually going to say Tottenham and Manchester United and Arsenal feature in that as well, and that will depend on where they are at with
Where
their
they are on
European
there,
game.
absolutely, yeah.
And then I was going to say, give it now.
Maybe Chelsea and Forest may miss out.
Yeah, Newcastle City, the way Villa are
Well,
playing.
Newcastle and City will miss.
No, they'll be in.
Oh, I thought you'd do that
Villa,
just to
no.
wind him up.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, go on.
Newcastle City,
Yeah.
Villa.
Right. Next match.